So how did you get involved with the ground source heat pump?
Well, that was an easy start. I was trying to figure out how to make solar systems economic, and so I can't remember where, but I got some money from. Oh, this was during the Carter administration. I wrote a proposal, solar assisted ground coupled heat pumps, because I've been messing with solar, but man, the economics of that were bad. Still are, but they were just as bad back then because of the first cost of them and then the storage and all this and all that. So. Somebody at the university got a call from somebody in Oklahoma City that had a problem with his heating and cooling system, that the swimming pool was being overheated by this air conditioner. Well, it turned out to be a heat pump. And the swimming pool was so hot the kids couldn't swim in it. He called me down and says, I need some help to get this thing straightened out. He says, I can't afford any city water. I didn't know. I was trying to figure out what a heat pump was. And so I said, well, I'll go back to university and see what I can find. And I opened up one of my old textbooks, and in the back of the textbook was a section on earth coils. Earth coils. I never heard of that before. Opened it up, and man, everything that I needed was right there. I thought, and so I got interested in that. For some odd reason, I couldn't get it out of my mind. And of course, then I hopped over to the library, because in the back of the book were references. In the back of those other books in the library, more references, and they kept talking about the efficiency of this thing, and it was hard for me to believe that it was that efficient. Nobody was doing it. So I talked to one of my professor buddies up there in mechanical engineering. I said, "Hey, this looks pretty good." And he said, "Yeah, it does." And we visited a little bit about it, but he didn't do anything. So I went out and saw a local HVAC contractor and asked him a few questions about it and so forth and so on. About 3 nights later, we took an existing air source heat pump, which uses air for energy source, which isn't, a lot of days it's too cold, that air doesn't do you that much good. And we converted it into a water-based thing, and about 3 days later, we had a water source heat pump and hooked these coils to it, and it worked. The first one worked. And so this guy his name was Jim Parton, he was next to me up in school. We installed one in his home. We installed it, literally, we did it. That was 30-some years ago, and it's still running.
Wow.
The first one we ever did worked. But they're all together different now. The heat pumps are about 50% more efficient. The piping that we put in the ground it was always good, because it was developed by the natural gas industry. And so it's really, really simple. Really simple. And again, it saves people around 30 to 35% of their energy and about 50% of their operating costs. So it's a standard. Everything else has to compare to it.